What's up, everybody? Welcome back. One thing you may not know about me is that I love reading. Signs, emails, texts, DMs, menus, instructions. I love it. I also like reading books, but there's one other person who also likes books. My friend and former creative writing professor, Wesley James Turner. Today we're going to have him on the show to discuss a mini haul and other stuff about books. Please welcome Professor West. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I noticed we're wearing similar sweaters.
Yeah.
I want to start out by saying that I have a lot of respect for you as a professor, and I am happy that you were my professor.
Thank you for being a great student.
Recently I missed your birthday, and I just wanted to apologize for that, and also I got you something, which is this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What made you decide to get me a fuzzy friend?
It reminded me of you because we're friends. That's it.
Cool, thank you.
Now that we've got that out of the way, do you want to hold it though? I was kind of hoping that you would hold on to it.
Like hold it up the whole time?
To get the video started today, we're going to do a mini book haul. I'm going to share some books that I like and see what Professor West has to say about them. I don't know if you're familiar with these.
I'm not.
That's a little disappointing because you are a professor and you got a degree in this kind of stuff.
Not fasting specifically, but...
But this is a book.
I haven't read all books though.
This could be a problem.
Is this something that you're personally interested in?
No.
Why do you have it?
Because it's a book. This is another great book. One thing that I like about it is that it's so long. Do you know this book?
It doesn't have a title on
You
it.
should be able to tell just from looking at it.
The Bible?
Have you read it?
I have read parts, yeah.
You haven't read the whole thing?
No.
This is my third book that I'm excited about. Do you know this one?
I have one for German. Do you just read it front to back? Or
That's how I've been doing it.
what's your favorite letter to read?
R. Revocar. Revoco. Revocas. Revoca. Revocamus. Revocan. Revocaba. Revocabas. Revocaba. Revocabamos. Revocabais. Revocaban. This is a great read. I highly recommend it. So, what's the big deal with books?
What do you mean?
You're a professor. You have a degree in books. I'm wondering what the big deal is.
I'll see if I can get to what you're asking. I think
Just the question is what I'm asking.
books broadly are, I guess, just a way to convey information. I focus mostly on contemporary fiction, which is none of these books.
Is that why you've never heard of any of those?
I have heard of two of them.
But you haven't read any of them.
I've read some of the Bible.
Why do you think that books exist?
Again, like this idea of books being information. Books kind of expanded, like, the access to knowledge.
Let's do a test. Tell me what this says.
The
You got it right. As a professor, do you think it's more important to know how to read or to love your students?
Interesting. I'll let you know how to read.
How many books have you written?
One?
What's it called? I never heard of it.
It was my thesis. I don't know if that counts. Otherwise, it's the number 0.
Has anyone read it?
My mom, some friends, also my cousins.
Did you get any money for it?
No.
If you're such a good professor, how come you don't have any best-selling books?
I don't have a great answer for that. I'm still pretty young. I've got other things I'm doing.
Do you think it's possible that you're not a good professor?
For using money as a metric, do you think that you're not a good YouTuber? Because
Okay.
I don't think you have that many followers. Just what I've noticed.
Listen, if you say something like that again, I'm gonna cancel the video. They say those who can't do teach. Do you think that's true in your case? Because how many best-selling books do you have?
Yeah, I don't have any. Maybe you should teach YouTube classes.
Is there wax in your ears?
I'm sorry.
I told you not to say that again. I just think it's funny that you gave me a B one time on a haiku I wrote when you didn't even have a single book.
But what'd you get in the class?
I got an A, which is a grade I deserved on every assignment.
Do you have the haiku still?
No.
I worked really hard on those comments.
I am a better writer than you.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't read anything since you were in my class. Maybe you got better.
No, I don't think you should have done that. It was a huge mistake that you're gonna regret. Okay? If you had to write a book on cats, would you?
If I had to, would I do it?
Yeah.
What do you mean, had to?
If you had no other choice?
Probably. What are the consequences?
None.
I mean, I would write a book
Do you
about it.
love cats?
Yeah, I like cats.
Do you believe in plagiarism?
That it exists, or that it's a good thing.
Just a question.
I think that plagiarism is real, and I think that it is usually bad.
Have you ever plagiarized?
No.
Why'd you make that face?
I haven't done anything wrong, but I think when you're writing, sometimes you draw inspiration from somewhere. I don't know who said it, but they were like, don't plagiarize, but like if you do it, don't get caught.
That's what you teach your children?
I don't teach it, but like I would say so.
It seems like somebody with no ethics shouldn't be teaching
What part
students.
is not ethical?
That you're just saying, steal if you don't get caught.
What do you think, like, Nathan for you would say about this YouTube channel? Or like between two friends?
They would say they never saw anything like it.
I bet they've never seen your YouTube channel.
I've asked you 3 times. We're gonna have a competition. You have 60 seconds to write a poem. On your marks,
Can I grab this pen?
get set.
Where do you have the timer?
In my head, go. Time.
I didn't finish, but I can read what I have. There once was a girl named Alaina who dreamed of being rich and famous, but her. That's as far as I got.
That's a terrible poem.
Well, it's not done, so
What are you doing?
I'm just finishing it, just for my
Stop
personal.
writing it right now.
Okay, sorry.
This
Okay.
is my poem. So much depends upon a blue wheelbarrow glazed with rain, water, besides the gray chickens. So
That was beautiful.
that was my original poem.
Do you want to talk about plagiarism again, or?
I seem to recall that when I was in your class, you gave us homework.
Yep.
Don't you think that if you had actually taught us the material we needed to know during class time, that wouldn't have been necessary?
I think that if what I was teaching you was purely knowledge-based, then yeah. But I was teaching you a skill, which is writing. You have to practice skills.
If you were a better professor, no, I would have just known how to done it.
Yeah, maybe. Have
It's
you
just
had?
something to reflect on for yourself.
Yeah, no, thank you. I will take that into account.
If you had to recommend one book, what would it be?
My favorite book is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien.
It's a good book.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's something we agree on.
Finally, it's been a rough interview. Probably the worst one I've ever done.
I'm sorry. No,
You,
yeah. No, I appreciate being here. Sorry.
so you wouldn't recommend the Bible?
Again, like, is this the only book this person's going to be able to read in their whole life?
It's the only book you can ever recommend.
I don't think I picked the Bible. It's not because I hate the Bible.
It seems like you do. Here's what I would like to know. You never read the Bible and you tell your students plagiarism's okay. This is all coming together actually. I paid money to take your class and you taught me how to write a sonnet. Do you know how many times I've needed to write a sonnet?
0, probably. Was your goal in taking a creative writing class to have a return on investment?
Is it your goal to give people something worthwhile?
We talk a lot about soft skills, learning to write a sonnet. Even
Sonnet?
If you write a sonnet, you're engaging in things like communication, critical thinking.
Okay, so I should
analytical
put
thinking.
sonnet writer on my next resume.
I think writing a sonnet will make you write a better resume. And more importantly, I think you write sonnets because you enjoy them.
I still never made $1 from writing a sonnet.
How much money have you made from your YouTube channel?
I don't know why you keep coming back to that. You don't think then as a professor that you're a criminal?
No, I don't. You signed up for the class.
I thought I was going to get money from it.
You really thought that taking a creative writing class was going to get you money?
Yeah.
I think that if you are a consumer of education and you've gone to a university, the onus is kind of on you to determine which courses are going to help you achieve your goals. If your goal is to make money, I think really basic research could have shown you that. Creative
I
writing-
think that it's the onus is on the professor. I gave you $3,000 to teach me how to make money.
Yeah, I could give it back to you.
Venmo it to me. One time after class, you laughed at a student who had shared a heartfelt answer. Do you think you should be fired for that?
Can you describe the situation more?
The student was very weird. She loved cats or something. You were giving an example of a bad poem.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, that's a great poem. And you said, it's a bad poem. And then after class, you were like laughing about her.
I don't remember this.
What's the best book ever written?
The Bible.
Wrong. It's You're a Badass by Jen Sincero.
What did you like about it?
It helped me to help myself.
How so?
It's a self-help book. What would you do if there was a law passed that made books illegal?
I mean, that'd be a bad law. Can I, protest? What's the scenario here?
It's frustrating when I ask you a question and then you just won't answer and ask a million questions.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I want to do a good job.
What would you do?
I would jump off a building.
Do you think that would be a good example for your students?
Probably not.
You're a book lover, but also you're a professor, and you have to remember that there's two parts of you. There's two wolves inside of you. The bibliophile and the professor and caretaker of your students.
You're right. I would try to be strong for my students, I think.
I'm happy to hear that.
What are the... Okay, yeah.
Don't ask any more questions. Would you ever date a student?
No.
Did you ever date a student?
Nope.
Are you sure? Because one time you did tell me confidentially.
You're putting that on your YouTube channel? I mean, I didn't date a student.
I just think that you should be allowed to.
I disagree. I think it's messy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So you think a good professor would not date their students?
Yes.
And a bad professor would date their students?
Yes. I think there's probably also a lot of bad professors who still don't date their students.
Is that the category you fall into?
Yes. I'm confused.
You can't keep up. You have to be smart to be a professor. If you don't know how to have a conversation and know what's being said, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's true.
I rest my case. Have books changed your life?
Yeah, they have. There's a book called A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. I thought it was really good.
What was good about it?
It had a lot of tenderness and depth to it. I just thought it was really transformative.
How did it change your life?
I mean, it definitely affected how I write. Also, just being aware that, we live in sort of an ecosystem of all the people on the earth, and that affects a lot of people. And stuff.
Oh, okay. That was kind of a lame answer.
I could talk about another one.
No. If someone said, if you stay a professor, I'll shoot you. And if you quit, I'll give you $1 million. What would you do?
Yeah, I would quit. I would take the $1 million.
You don't care about your students?
Maybe I'm going to give my students the $1 million.
But what if they need your professorship?
I can buy them another professor.
If you're such a good professor, then they need you.
I think I would take the $1 million. What would you do if someone told you to quit YouTube for $1 million?
No, No, I'd rather get shot. We're gonna wrap this up with a game. I'm gonna describe books to you and then you have to guess what book it is. A guy goes on an adventure. Another guy is there. And eventually some other guys come.
The New Testament.
Nope. Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
A girl likes a guy. They aren't together at first. Then they get together.
Pride and Prejudice.
Wrong again. Twilight. One of the best books ever written.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
A guy helps out some people.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
The Bible. And the last one, a guy helps out some people.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey.
That makes sense.
You got 0 out of 4. That was a bad job.
Yeah.
Are you sad?
I am sad.
I would be too. You did your best and that is something to be proud of. Well, everybody, thank you for watching this vid and learning about books with Professor Wes. If you want to take a class from Wes about books and writing, you can, but make sure that you're prepared to waste a lot of money. Let us know in the comments which book from our book haul you are most excited to read. Subscribe if you loved this vid, and I'll see you guys next week.